Hello all. It's been a while since I posted a video, and it's been a couple of weeks since we laid my grandmother to rest, and just thought I'd come and talk about that a little bit, maybe some other things. The whole thing was a little surreal. I was lucky enough to be able to go and say goodbye before she passed, and that was awesome to get to tell her thank you for everything that she had done for me and my family, and then also get to tell her that it's okay. She gets to go have her reward, and because she's earned it, she's worked her whole life for that reward, and so I got to tell her to not worry about us. We'll be along directly, but to go get that reward. So that was really awesome to get to go do that. The funeral and the visitation, it was really obvious to me to see the difference between people who may not have hope, and those of us that do. It was I'm obviously going to miss my grandmother. She's a huge part of my life, um, but I know I'm going to see her again. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to see her again. She's in a much better place than I am right now, and I'm almost envious that she's there. She gets to be in the arms of Jesus while the rest of us are toiling away. But it's not our turn yet. It was her turn. It's not our turn. So hopefully it will be our turn. And so until then, we just got to keep pressing on with the good fight. But Paul said in Thessalonians, I think it's First Thessalonians 4, that don't be don't misunderstand about those who have preceded us in death, and don't grieve like other men who have no hope, because it's not really, you're not grieving the fact that you're never going to see them again. It's really amazing. There were some of my cousins and their family there, and they were distraught. They just couldn't. It was almost as if they couldn't go on, and it just didn't make a lot of sense to me because I know exactly where she's at. The day that she took her last breath, I know exactly where she went, and to have no hope, and to be distraught like that, really, especially when that individual, especially my grandmother, um, there's no doubt where she's at. So if you don't think that you're going to see her again, then what does that say about where you're at? And I mean, there is only one way to get out of this alive, and that is through putting your faith in Jesus. There's no other way. Um, Death has no sting when you have focus on eternity. I get frustrated sometimes with things that go on in our lives. Our daughter's autistic, and she has meltdowns, and she doesn't listen, and she just lives in a world of her own, and that's what autism is. And it is hard when you're in that moment. Um, you're asking yourself, why, God? Why are we up at 3 o'clock in the morning in a screaming meltdown fit? Why can't you fix this? Why can't this? And it's easy to get caught up in that. And what I have to keep reminding myself is you have to worship your way through it. It's not that God is punishing us. It's not that we are doing anything wrong. It's not that we haven't, checked a box, and so until that time, God's not gonna do anything. The thing is, we have no control. When sin entered the world, we lost control, and so we don't really have control over the things that go on. And so, I think back to the story of Paul and Silas in prison. What were they doing at midnight? Well, they were praising God and worshiping Him. Now, they had just been beaten unjustly. They'd just been thrown into a dark, dank dungeon unjustly, without trial, and they were praising God and singing hymns. They weren't begging for a miracle. They weren't begging for things to get better. They were praising God in the midst of their storm. And that's what I got to keep at the forefront of our mind. It's not about getting God to take you out of the storm. It's about praising God through that storm and getting your mind right and understanding that this is not his design, and that we have to stand on the promises that he's given us. We stand on those promises, and that's what gets us through. It's not the miracle. You know, it'd be awesome if my daughter and my son were healed. That would be phenomenal. But you know, that miracle, if it were to happen, may actually get in the way of people coming to believe, because they scoff. If you look at all the miracles that Jesus did, and these people watched him do them, and they still didn't believe. They scoffed. They said he must be from Satan, or you know, he's full of sin, and so this can't be real. This can't be what has happened. So it's one of those things that, you know, I pray that we get a miracle. That would be amazing, but we gotta look at things in light of eternity. You know, it's all about looking at the things through the lens of eternity. Mother Teresa, I may have said this quote before, you know, in light of eternity, once you get to heaven and all the glorious amazingness that will surround you there, your time on earth will seem like an inconvenient stay at a bad hotel. Think about that. One night at a bad hotel, that's about how long your time on earth is going to seem. So regardless if you've been tortured, if you've been beaten, if any of those things happen, in the light of eternity, it doesn't matter, because you got to just keep pressing towards the prize, pressing towards what God has set for us. So anyway, that was on my mind. Just wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate you guys listening. Thanks.